Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. This game finished about a minute or two ago. I'm going to play through till the game was actually abandoned with black in a strong lead or having a strong advantage. Um, and then I'm going to finish the game against computer from that position. So, computer on maximum. Wish me luck. All right, here we go. Add the black pieces. So an early sort of mistake here is I played d5. You don't want to play e4 against that. And so I'm up a pawn early. And I want to try to capitalize on that by hanging on to this extra pawn. The computer doesn't like it. It's probably complications due to queen h5 check. Then after pawn to g6, maybe white has something with knight takes h7. Threatening to capture the bishop. Equal material at that, but my king has to move, and I don't know. Let's see why that was a mistake. Bishop c4. So just building here for white is a strong move, a strong play. Anyway, I played f5 thinking I just want to hold on to my extra pawn and see what happens. d3. I now can liquidate my extra pawn. It makes things a lot easier on black pressure-wise. My opponent my opponent recaptures with bishop takes d3, and that's a strong move, both developing to an active square and recapturing in one move. Leaves black with some lingering kingside attack opportunities, and just another developed piece. We look at the board now. Okay, it's black to move. I said black. I meant white. It leaves white with some lingering kingside attack opportunities, and also recaptures the pawn on d3. What do we have here? Here, with it's black's turn to move, we notice white is way ahead in development. White's about to castle. Okay. It's black's move, but white's ready to castle. And black has all his pieces. That's me. I have all my pieces on the back rank for one extra pawn. That's probably not good enough in terms of a blitz game. The computer analyzes or the evaluation bar has this at almost even, but I think I'd probably rather play white here, get the queen to g5, check, and then my king, then I either have to weaken these kingside pawns with g6 or move the king early, and that's not good. So, anyway, I probably shouldn't have played. That all goes back to the move I should have played. Well, this time e takes d3, and black had better options, like as Torch shows here, knight c6, and I agree. Just straightforward developing a knight is better even than consolidating and liquidating an extra pawn. It's just a pawn. So I have to look inward on that. Am I really playing for pawns when it's a game in 3 minutes? That, I think, is the larger issue. E takes d3. We went over this, and then e6. This is consistency. Sometimes you play for consistency, and here I want to hold on to my one pawn advantage. Like I said, the issue that this game is bringing to light for me is, should I be holding on to solely one pawn as a material advantage? Is that enough? For now, white has 3 pieces developed against black has none. So I'll have to be thinking about that later on when I'm driving to go grocery shopping or whatever. Okay, so now finally black gets some pieces developed. It's smart. I develop a piece while rendering one of white's pieces inactive, at least for the time being, due to the absolute pin that the knight at c3 is experiencing against his own king. Queen e2. Queen f6 is strong. This was a big deal. Um, we're not going to ruin our castle. So I'm looking for other ways to uh, defend the twice attacked pawn on e6. This is very dangerous for black if he doesn't find the best move or one of the best moves. And I like queen to f6. It keeps the tension against this knight. Not that the defending bishop can skip over to or not that the defending bishop can skip over to h5 or a6, but it's just keeping tension where there needs to be tension. But more importantly, there are now two pieces attacking the c3 knight, and there is a tactic there. So it's only defended once. There's two pieces attacking, and black can, on any move that doesn't address this situation directly, for instance, bishop d2, any move that doesn't address that situation directly, most of those moves are going to have white backpedaling or in some trouble. So bishop e3 doesn't address it, and like I said, bishop takes b3 check. So far, white's still up just the pawn, but then queen takes c3 check. That's 2 pawn advantage, and I'm looking at this and saying white will not survive this. Like well, at least, I mean, white would need some serious droid decas, like all over the place, in order to survive this. Right? Bishop d2 is considered best move, but it's falling way short after the rook gets captured by queen takes a1 check. And I mean, white does not want to give away a bishop and then trade queens, so the best move is to block with the queen, and after queen takes d1 check and king takes d1, black has such a strong advantage. I don't say that I treated this advantage exactly right, because I didn't. Torches give me a little bit of credit here. Maybe this would, I didn't see a way for black to defend e6 well. I probably could have played e5, and then the pawn on f5 is more exposed, but also still protected by the c8 bishop. After rook to e1, torch 4 likes h6 and knight f6 and knight ge7. So knight ge7, yeah, just knight ge7 is let's huddle up, keep our king safe, rally the wagons, as is said. So sometimes. I didn't mean that to have negative connotations or be against Native American Indians. It's a term that's used from time to time to rally the wagons, or circle the wagons, circle the wagons. Maybe that's not the most politically correct way of saying it. And then another move would have been h6, accelerating my opponent's plans. h6 is interesting because we're giving away the pawn on e5, but knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, rook takes e5 check, and then either knight at g to e7 or even king to f7, and I think maybe black is getting out of this. So king to f7, then there's bishop c4, and a potential discovered attack with something like rook takes c6 check. That could get ugly. So anyway, knight to f6 is not the end of the game either. It's just this one pawn, and it includes, as a price for capturing one of my points of material, a swap of minor pieces, and that's also good for black. Not usually at the cost of a pawn, but not to go crazy about losing a pawn in the process either. And this discovered attack with the bishop on c4, rook on e6 and against black's king on f7 is it's a good try. I think I handle it with a cool and calm head. Simply king to g6. Look, there are no queens on the board. White's missing a rook. We're not. We've got some defense built into the position. We don't have to, do anything special. But going to the 6th rank is sometimes special, and we can do that if we like. This is not dangerous for black. Uh, I just say, maybe king to g6 here is not all that dangerous. I think it's the safest move, frankly. And if you don't like seeing black's king, as black, you don't like seeing your king on the 6th rank. See if you can find an alternative, but sometimes you have to deal with that, with those kind of things. Here, my opponent abandoned the game, and I am going to let the computer on its highest difficulty setting play this out against me, even with a strong lead. Like I have 6 points of material, and the evaluation bar, considering that the evaluation bar also agrees that I have a strong lead. Even with that, against the strongest level of torch, it remains difficult. It's still difficult. It's a powerful chess playing machine. I'd advise immediately after promoting to queen in situations like this, you might be tempted just to throw a check in against your opponent. If you have enough time to look for something else, what you want to look for is you've queened, you've promoted, that's as far as you've calculated if you're like many people. We want to look for moves where black can fork the king and in this case the bishop. I don't, as best as I can tell right now, I can't in this position. My king's in the way. Otherwise, this would be giving check with queen d1 check, and then we pick up a bishop afterwards. My king's in the way, so it's not queen d1 check. It's just queen d1. But when you've just promoted, that's a really good time to think about: is there any? Can I pick off one of my opponent's pieces with an immediate fork? It doesn't look like I have one right yet, so I'm gonna play queen g2 and make the promote threat cost white his bishop, his or her, or well, torch. So cost white its bishop. Right? This doesn't really. I don't really have to be saving the knight, but why not? And then we play h2. Bishop's gone, and it's up to black's remaining pieces to push forward and deliver checkmate. All right. All right. So we analyzed the game through where the abandon slash resignation occurred, and black was doing much better. Like we see, even with a lot of time, I took a good amount of time on that. Even with a lot of time, finishing out a position like this against the computer at its maximum level, 3200 elo, it's not easy. Okay, I don't find it easy. I don't think so. But we did it in this example. I think I did this without takebacks or hints, so that's good. It means that I actually had enough material to sort of cushion any uh, bad moves, any blunders or inaccuracies. I'm not sure if I made any, but uh, people make mistakes, so it's possible. There were no blunders and mistakes after the resignation. Before that, we had the miss and these two mistakes we talked about. So fine. All right. All right. We'll watch this game play out, and this will be the last. You're just gonna watch this for the sake of enjoying the beauty of chess, and then I'll be signing off for this session. I probably won't sign back on later today, but perhaps most likely tomorrow. So black had to jettison some amount of material right here to sort of, if you will, distill the situation to something clearer, I guess. Clearer. Really looking for trades, so much so as uh, as to trade the exchange back a few moves ago. And now black has just a one king and it's just one endgame. I have my knight positioned. The knight at e6 holds both g5 and f4, and that is almost as good as having your pawns on the light squares because it's too difficult for white to undermine the support of the what was the f4 pawn, as now the queen on g2. Checkmate. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Have a great night.